Hi, this is Yvonne, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how to stop procrastination. You know, procrastination is a really bad habit, and it can really affect your productivity, and it's a sign of low self-esteem. There are 3 ways that has really helped me to stop procrastination, and I'd really love to share it with you. Now, in this video, you're going to learn ways that you can stop procrastination dead in its tracks. You know, when you say you're going to do something, but you don't do it, it's breaking a promise to yourself. And the more you break promises to yourself, the less you trust yourself to follow through, then that's going to take a toll on what you feel about yourself, which is self-esteem. And it lowers your self-esteem because here you are, you can't even trust yourself. And so the ability to start and follow through with a task through to completion is going to really raise how you feel about yourself, your motivation, your self-esteem. And so it's really, really important to stop procrastination. And the first way that I've done this is to think in terms of the one thing principle. The one thing principle reminds me of a proverb, a Chinese proverb by Lao Tzu. It says, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with just one step." It's so true, right? So think of it in terms of your life. Any major goal that you've achieved has been done one day at a time. For those of you that have degrees or diplomas, how did you get to that point of celebrating this major accomplishment with a cap and a gown and all your family cheering for you? Well, it was through those daily habits and practices to show up to class, to do your due diligence on finishing up those lessons and assignments, get those grades on to the next semester. It took a lot of time. Some of us took many, many years. And so that point of time where you complete your goal, that's fine. That's what everyone else sees. They go to the party, they eat cake. But you're the one that put all of that time in. That's what matters, and that's what you want to focus on. What can you do today? What's this one thing that you can do today that's going to etch you closer to accomplish your dreams and goals? And so it could be very, very small, right? So let's say you want to run a marathon in a year or 2 from now. That's just going to be a dream, unless you start thinking in terms of what you can do today. Maybe you can go for a walk. Maybe that's all it takes to build that momentum. And that's what you want to do. This one thing principle ultimately gets you to building the momentum to continue to gather excitement and action towards your goals. So one thing you can do today. Think in terms of someone that has achieved their financial freedom by having a nice savings account. How did they get there? How did they get their 6 months of savings? Every day they made a decision, and that one decision that day has compounded to the point where, hey, they can make a decision on where they want to work, how they want to work, because they're comfortable that they've got something like a rainy day fund that's going to cover them for 6 months. Okay, so think of things in terms of that one thing principle. The second step that I did that really helped me with procrastination, and most people probably don't think of this, is making sure that your environment, the space around you, is just really nice and clean and comfortable. So what do I mean by that? Well, these days, a lot of us are working remotely and we're working from home. Does that workspace that you have allocated, is it clear of clutter? Or do you have tons of papers and tissues and cups from yesterday, pens, notes, sticky pads kind of sprawled all over the desk and around your area? If so, consider clearing it out and only have on your workspace what you need. For instance, if you're writing a book and you have reference books, have that readily available. If you work well with making sure you drink a zip cup of coffee or water along the way, make sure that's available. Everything you need and nothing of what you don't. And I'll extend that to in the virtual space. If you're working in a laptop, only making sure that those applications that you are going to use are open and removing any of those browsers or social media sites or shopping sites that can easily distract you along the way. So closing that out so that we can stay laser focused. That's what a clean environment does. I'll also add that in my workspace, I have ergonomic tools. For example, I have a chair that's ergonomic so that I'm comfortable and I can work longer extended periods of time without feeling uncomfortable. I also have an ergonomic keyboard and a pad for my wrist so that I don't get carpal tunnel and I don't get uncomfortable as I'm typing through. And also my mouse, I make sure that it fits with my hand. It's an ergonomic mouse. And so I'm comfortable, I'm not worried about these things. I'm just able to focus on getting my work done. And I'll add to that, for those of us that work well with some kind of a soft classical music in the background to just get us in the flow and in the zone, do that. So that really creates that ambiance, that whole experience where you're actually looking forward to getting your work done. You're actually looking forward to completing that assignment, writing that book, or getting your work done. So the third thing is prioritizing our tasks. And so there's a method that I found in this book called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. And I found it to be a little quirky at first. And once I tried it though, I can see how it's really a helpful tool and strategy to help reprioritize your tasks so you're focusing on what's most important. It really helps you take a look at that to-do list and think through it, reassess it, and eliminate waste. So what do I mean? Well, it's called the ABCDE principle. ABCDE, what does that mean? So so once you have your to-do list written, you write an A next to those activities that you absolutely must do. I have got to get that report out to my manager today, right? Because there's a hard deadline behind it. You're gonna write a B next to those activities that you should do. For example, I should probably get around to my email and read through those 100 emails that are waiting for me and just kind of pick through which ones are actionable or not. So again, A is what you absolutely must do, B is what you should do, and C, you'll write a C next to those activities that would be nice to do. For example, you went to a networking event and you met a few associates that you kind of exchanged contact information and you'd love to connect. You know that this networking opportunity is going to lead you to other opportunities in the future that's going to help your career. And it would be nice to have coffee or a lunch with this individual. Those are your C type of activities. Make sure you capture those. Something that would be nice to do. D is something that you can delegate. And I know a lot of us struggle with this because, right, nobody can do it as good as I do. No one can clean my house as well as I can. No one can, mow my yard, my lawn. But some things can be delegated and go for 80%. In one thing that has been effective for me, I'll be honest, is house cleaning. It's something that would take me all half a day to do on Saturdays, and I wanted my Saturdays back to spend time with my family maybe just to relax because I have a long, busy week. And to me, it was more valuable to me to just relax or spend time with my family than to spend maybe 4 or 5 hours deep cleaning my house. What did I do? Well, I went online and I went through the different sites that obviously do background checks and everything, making sure it's responsible individuals. But I found a good person to clean my house. It took a few iterations of that, but I finally found the right fit and the right person that I can trust and I'm confident with. And now she's a part of my team and she supports and helps me every week to clean my house, and that allows me to have 4 to 5 hours for other things. And so consider, what are those tasks that you have on your list that you can delegate, right? And you're exchanging value for value. So yes, it means it's an additional expense in that month, but think of how much more you can get back. You can't get time back. That time, once it's lost, it's gone. So isn't that time valuable to you? So consider delegating. And I think that one of all of them is the hardest one to do, especially for those of us that tend to procrastinate. A lot of the symptoms of procrastination is because we struggle with the ability to delegate, because we are perfectionists at its core. So the last category is E. So E is something that you can eliminate. And there's something so empowering with just scratching that item off your to-do list, because guess what? It's no longer relevant. Maybe it's there out of habit, something someone told you should do, but it's not aligned with your values or anything that makes sense to you anymore. Guess what? It's your to-do list. You are empowered to eliminate anything that doesn't make sense. So go ahead, take that pen, scratch it off. That's out of the list. And so the key here is you're taking your to-do list, you're empowering yourself by reassessing all of those activities, prioritize them, and just focus on what's most important. Focus on your A activities, get that done before you move on to the next one. And that is going to really support you in stopping that procrastination, because guess what? Once you achieve something, again, that builds the momentum we've been talking about. And that's a good place to be. And so in conclusion, if we focus on the one thing principle and we create a clean and comfortable workspace, and we prioritize our tasks so we focus on what's most important, then those 3 things are really going to help you to stop procrastination dead in its tracks. You know, I've put together a goals creation workbook that's really going to support you to identify, assess, and take action on your goals that you can achieve. And so it's a free workbook available for you. Go ahead and click that link below. Also, click the like button so that other people have the opportunity to learn these skills and stop their procrastination as well. And subscribe to this channel so that you're notified on new videos on leadership, development, and so much more.